welcome to the leveling guide. Uh, it's been a while since my last video, I know, but I finally decided to come back to the game after a break. I like taking breaks to make sure I don't get fully burnt out in the game. And when I come back, I'm ready to grind and have fun. But I decided to come back with the leveling guide since there has been quite a number of changes to leveling in the past few years and recently. Uh, this is mostly going to be a secondary leveling guide, as in this isn't a beginner's guide per se for leveling, as I mostly just recommend doing the tutorials and following the story for your main Digimon to level, as it'll naturally get the XP for that, and even more sometimes. So for that, just do that. But this is mostly for like people who you start with Gallantmon, let's say in the tutorial, and you level them up. Let's say you get them all the way to like 120 or something. And at that point, you feel like grinding up a new Digimon, or you need something new for a dungeon or something. And obviously, you go and hatch it, and then they're level 1, and then you're not sure how the best way to catch them up to your other Digimon. So that's mostly what this guide's for. It's going to cover a range of different areas or strategies for leveling. The main ones will be mob grinding, like overworld mobs, just enemies like at File Island, Silver Lake, I mean, just like grinding mobs, the ones that are just on the overworld. The next one will be quest grinding, where you'll do, not the quest at Dats obviously, but like quests at like File Island and stuff that are meant to be XP givers, that you grind them with the higher level mon, and then you claim them with the lower level one, and you'll gain a bunch of XP at once, is another way. And next, there is monster card grinding, which is using the different levels of monster cards to level up, and that is probably the most expensive way to level if you're not a long-time player and have a bunch of them stocked up. And even for me, I run out of them all the time from using them. These are just stacked up from dailies and events like that. But it can be expensive, but you do get some good reward drops from it that you can use or sell. It's up to you. And then finally, dungeon XP dungeons, which there's three main ones really, I'd say. Obviously, you get XP from dungeons in general, but the biggest ones I will be covering are the Minato City Rainbow Bridge dungeon. I can't pull it up because the game doesn't like showing it, but the Kaisers Domain XP Dungeon that used to be the XP Tour that got removed and reworked into that. And then finally is the newest dungeon, XP Dungeon I mean, the weekly cat food XP Dungeon that you get from weekly maintenance. I don't have it right now to show you, but you'll see in the video when we get there. But yeah, those are all the major areas of XP grinding I'll be covering. There's definitely more, so if I forget, feel free to comment it. But and not all of these strategies are coming from me. They're coming from my guild mates and like that, so shout outs to them. Right, I'd say 150 is kind of the soft cap for XP, as there's kind of a consistent line of leveling you can follow to 150, as you'll see in the video. But after that point, the XP just gets insane. Like, it's obvious they don't want it to be easy beyond that point. So like, you can either grind hard or wait and hopefully see if there'll be better levelings in the future. But for now, I'd consider 150 the soft cap. But being leveled up as much as you can for your Digimon is important for dungeons and stuff, because it'll ease down the requirements you need for stats, as leveling will raise them. So instead of needing to match your stats to, let's say, Royal Base, you'll need, typically, Royal Base used to be like level 99-ish requirements, and it was hard back then. Even at level 120, it was hard. But just being over-leveled above it means you'll get to bring more favorite Digimon, or if you don't have access to the most powerful Digimon, it'll give you fighting chance in there. And yeah. And then, as far as tamers go, levels of course, levels will gatekeep quests and stuff. Like, I believe the real world Tokyo Odaiba quests don't open until 100, so as you progress through the quest, you'll get there. But Tamer is harder to level up than your Digimons, and they scale depending on your lower Digimon's levels. So leveling a wide variety of them helps that. And Tamers will allow you to use gear and stuff. So you can see these gear sets are locked behind different levels. Like, I need to be level 90 to use this, 95, 105, 120, 80. Nothing on that one. Nothing on that one either. Nothing. Level 90, 90 Digimon required as well. And then these ones, yeah, low 25, 41. So it's just different variety of level requirements all over the place. But it's important for that. And another important part for Tamers is actually chip sets. Yeah, chip sets for Tamers and Digimon. So I have a bunch of HP buffer ones just because I like to have HP generalized while I'm just doing everyday stuff. But you can see you need to be level 90 Tamer and then level 100 Digimon for this to apply. So like, you can see I'm at 38,000 with Agumon with these equipped, and I take them off, and I drop about 9,000 in whole. So you can see how big of an impact HP has. And if I evolve to Z Millenniumon, I'm at 66,000 without it. Then if I re-equip them, 76. I got 10,000 HP along with some other like Digisoul, hit rate. So levels are important for stats across the board. It's just one of the most important things in the game, and they give super important buffs and gatekeep kept like buffs like that. But yeah, that's super important for that. And then also I'll show you really quick. And before I get into the actual leveling part of the guide, I want to mention some of the things you can do to speed up XP in general. So first, I'm going to mention probably the most important ones that you'll always want to be using when leveling are the XP boosters. So the first one is probably the most common one you'll have. You'll probably have a bunch of these. They're called amplification boosters, and they multiply your XP by different amounts. You'll probably have a bunch of these 200% and 500% ones, but the best ones, and I think you do get them, yeah, you get them from login rewards. So just leaving your game AFK if you don't want to play for that long, you can get these. But 1,000, I got 500. See, 1,000%, I have 193 of these. You always want these on, because it multiplies your XP by a bunch. Yeah, you'll see in parts of the video I mess up and don't have them on. But these are always important to be using if you're serious about leveling. I mean, you don't need them if you're doing the quest part of leveling. The quest XP doesn't get multiplied by this. But yeah, and then even further than that, this goes for other buffs in general, but this, you can stack another actual buff with this. So if you have super amplification boosters, you can use these. But then from the Holy Beast dungeons, you can get, or you can get from other players, Grace of Challenge XP, and there's other kinds, but Grace of Challenge is a separate stacking XP buff. So you can see if I use this amplification booster, and let's say I try to use the 500 one, I can't because I already have one in place. But if I try to use the Grace of XP, I can stack both buffs. So I'm getting 2,000 XP from the buffs themselves, which is very important. Is like, let's say we get 100,000 XP from a Digimon, we multiply that by 1,000. It's like a million or something. It's, you know, it's something insane like that. And then multiply it again, you're getting even more. So these are always important to have up while you're leveling. And it's easy to forget, but I do it all the time too. You have to keep an eye on these down here. And when they get close to running out, it'll start counting down at once you're at a minute or less, it'll start counting down with seconds. And it unfortunately doesn't show up here, but it is down here, so it's important to keep an eye on that. And then another XP thing, another part of the game you can get XP from is your tamer gear. So you can see from my tamer goggles, I'm getting 38% XP. Lanamon's helmet, I'm getting 100%. And then the final major XP area I want to mention is the newer D unit system. And this is a system where you're being rewarded for collecting and upgrading Digimon. And this is a part of the reason I came back to the game is this system, because it's giving you something to do now, besides grinding dungeons and stuff. So, a long time ago, you used to just kind of get the strongest Digimon and use them to clear content. And that was it, because there was the deck buffs, but you could, like I'll show you, you used to be able to just get the Digimon and then get rid of them and just use the best deck buff you could get. Like back in the day, Knights of Vaccine was one of the stronger ones. Royal Knights, Omega, Hyper Ancient Spirit Evolution, Burst Ultimate Wings, stuff like that. You would just collect them, get the deck buff, use the deck buff, and then never use the Digimon again. But now, with the D unit system, there's a purpose to leveling Digimon besides just having them unlocked. Because you get stat buffs from it now. So like base Agumon, I don't have Bond of Bravery unlocked, so I don't have all of the buffs, but let's find a Digimon that you can have the forms. I have all the forms unlocked for. Not Gyomon. Not Shoutmon, I'm missing one on him. Pico Devimon 1. I recently got him all unlocked. And the first one is for having all the forms unlocked, and this one is one that just gets up to a popular month, so I was able to get those easily. And I got 50 HP for that. And then for having them all at level 110, I get 100 HP, which is pretty good. And then for transcending them, which is when you have a 5 out of 5 Digimon at level 100, and you transcend them through the archive, and you feed them with Digimon. Typically, you'd want to use Raremon, which you get pretty often. So level 4 eggs, level 5s are the best one, but then you'll transcend them, and you'll have access to, so they'll become 6 out of 6, right? They'll become 6 out of 5, I mean. Oops, wrong one. So you transcend them, they become 6 now, and they can go up to 140 now, which, being above 100 is all multiplying your stats by like 40%. Up to 40%, I mean, which is important. And you also have access to cloning their health. So you can see I have perfect clone on all of them. And so 691 doesn't seem like much, but when I evolved to Z Millenniumon, I hope you'll show it. Oh, it doesn't work like that. Oh, it does. Sorry. I'm getting 14,000 HP now, which is really good. I'm getting 12,000 attack, 162% crit. So block, evasion, and crit won't change depending on your stat scaling, but attack and HP will be depending on the Digimon. So this is 12,000 attack scaled off of his base 8,000 attack. I believe attacks will scale up to 144%, and HP is something in that similar range. Not really, it's a little bit less, but yeah, anyways, it's important for clone transcending is important for that, so you can get better stats and have stronger Digimon. But yeah, anyways, that's what the transcending part is, and then getting the Digimon to 140 or 150 depends on the options you'll see later as I show you. But you can get percent skill damage for certain types. So as he's a virus darkness type, electric damage won't benefit him, but this other side of him, virus skill damage, it's all multiplying. So there's so many Digimon to go through, and so like for me, like I have so much more to do, but this is all gonna add up and help scale your Digimon stats so much. Like I have 2700 HP, like this is all crazy. But my point to this is XP is one of the big ones you can get from here. And right now, mine's only 80%, which is really bad. But I'll show you an example. My guildmate is at about 1,000, or I think he's at more than 1,000 XP. So you could have 3,000 XP from 2,000 from boosters, 1,000 from this. I get 1,500 from that, 400 from that, 30%. So it's all adding up like crazy. I'm at like more than 4,000 XP. I mean, 5,000. It just starts stacking up. So the leveling is insane, and gear is so important in that, and the collection system is an even bigger bonus on top of that. So leveling is so important in the game nowadays. But yeah, I think that covers what I want to say about the basics of leveling. If I missed anything, sorry. You can ask me about questions in the comments, of course. But I think we'll get on to the actual parts of the leveling guide, starting with mob grinding. So I'm here at Western Village to showcase if you, for some reason, want to try grinding from 1 upwards with just overworld mob Digimon. You can, but as you can only fight within 29 levels, a lot of people like to start here, especially if you don't have stats. I mean, I could probably start somewhere else, but this is typically where you would start. And you can see you get pretty fast XP. Like, I'm already going up insanely fast. Already Digimon. And really, you get XP so fast at lower levels that just hit a few times and then you can move on, really. Like, now that I'm 18, I could go over to the outskirts over here. I could go out here. What? Rune Historic, what did they... I could go out here to Rune Historic now, and might as well. Let's go out here and show you. There's a lot of bots out here though, so it might not be the most optimal, but just gonna come out here to show you what the levels look like. Here's some Leomon, and you can see it's pretty fast levels. Like, this is very quick. That's a Blossomon already, and once you have enough decent levels on you, the best place to continuously level is honestly File Island. Is the next place I'd say to go to. Again, this is probably one of the slower ways to level. This used to be how you had to do it back in the day when there wasn't quests all over the place. You would just go around and farm mobs, and it's not the worst, but it'll definitely take longer compared to other ways. So now I've hit level 62 and I'm about to go over to server, but I wanted to mention that this, as far as Fire Island goes, is the furthest you should be leveling, as the next map is just Infinite Mountain, and it's just all bosses, and they don't really give the XP worth grinding. So around this range you could keep leveling here if you want to, or you could go over to server now, assuming you've done the quests, of course. So here at the first server map, if we go to the monster guide on the map, you'll see that they stay in the 90 range, but let's see. Some of the mons go up to 91. Server for a long time was the end point of the game, so the Digimon only go up to, at the final map, the 90-ish, high 90s, so you're not really going to get too much higher leveling here. But I'll do some leveling here, and then I'm going to come back and show you that actually, if we go in order from this map, the next map is actually the real world Tokyo map. And Campsite isn't a real map, it's just a tutorial thing. But Valley of Light is where we can start getting more levels beyond these 90s, and you need to be around 72-ish. For these mons, you have to be careful because their scales they're not just exactly 100, they're either below or above, but I'll cut back in a little bit to show you that, but yeah. Now here, I reached level 73 because it's 100, so just a little extra room for levels, but I'm here at 73 now, and you can see my Digimon Jogrist as I reached 70, which was the requirement for it, and it definitely made leveling easier. But now the next map you'll go to is, well, if you finish the quest line, he'll take you straight to Campsite, which will then skip you over here to Valley of Light, which is where you'll level for the next bit before going into Shibuya. But you'll need to grind a bit at Valley of Light, so I'll see you there. Alright guys, we're here in the Valley of Light, and I have Raphael's on, so we're gonna go ahead and start grinding up to the next level. So here the monsters go up to around the hundreds, but next we need to hit closer to mid 70s or 80s for the next map, so I'll cut back then when I'm ready. So I hit 85 at the other map, and now I'm here at Minato City. This is actually one of the biggest map grinding places in the world, not only for the mobs, but also for the dungeon, as you've seen in other parts of the video. But I can fight up to level 114 mons, so there's one right here, but they can go up a little bit higher, but as long as I hit the right ones, I should be good to go. And here, of course, there's the three main types to fight, so if you come here, just find the type that you're advantage against and you'll be good to start grinding. And a lot of people do parties here, so you can find parties easily if you're gonna grind here. There are a lot of bots in the beginning area of the map, so I don't recommend fighting those. Swimmon tend to be pretty free. It just depends on the time of day, really, but yeah, and here at 82 you can do the dungeon, but as this is the part of the video where I'm doing NPC or overworld grinding, I will grind out for a bit until probably about 90. Yeah, I'm probably gonna grind out to about 90 here, so I can easily get these guys. Alright, I'll be back then. Alright guys, here we're at the forced beginning in the digital world now. I reached 95, wasn't too bad, the mobs are pretty chill there. And now we're here in the digital world, and you can see 122, so if I fight him... See, now I'm starting not to hit my head, so this might be an instance where you might want to just stay in the level in the Tokyo maps. But let's see how much XP I get for killing him. Yeah, I need to skill so you can kill it. So we got about 6 XP, so it definitely starts to slow down once you're over here. Yeah, I just wanted to show some progression, but at this point, if you're not able to hit consistently, you could even just go back to the other maps and farm back there. I'll do a bit more farming, but I'll cut back when I get to 100, and I'll let you know what I'm farming at. Might go over here and try it once we'll see. I'll be back though. Alright, I hit 97, and there's actually another map I want to show you guys to level at, but first I wanted to show you guys the XP from the Forced Marionette, which is the next map after Forced Beginning. And you can still see it's still hard to hit, so I still got a skill. But killing this quickly. It's about 6 XP, so, you know, every few levels you go back up. Once you're closer in the bottom range of that, you'll get about 6-ish XP, which isn't the worst, but there was that XP. But I'm going to cut back in a minute at another map that people use for leveling, and it's in the real world. It's actually the Shinjuku maps. You could either do the day ones, which are for the lower levels, but this is the D River map, which is the kind of same similar level range, so I'll cut back when I'm there. Alright, so here I am at the West Shinjuku D River map, and I'm sure you know from progression that this one, you start getting at some point I think after you beat Fire Island, you get the real world Shinjuku quest, which there are some difficult parts to get through, but with your SSS from the tutorial, you should be able to get through it as long as you're cloned up and everything. And this is near the end of it, but let's see how the XP looks over here. And these guys will all aggro you. They're definitely weaker than the other maps. And oh yeah, this XP is a lot better than the other maps. So, I mean, you're free to do the other one if you have it unlocked and not this one, but this is definitely the better one to do. You get way better XP. So, I'm gonna grind up a bit and cut back in a little bit. Getting back in here, while you're farming here, these guys will spawn after you kill a certain amount of the D-Reaper ADR-05s, and he'll, if I recall, he gives you a lot of XP, so I'll cut back after he's dead, and I'll show you what that looks like. Or I'll cut back when he slows, so you don't miss it. I'm gonna get back in here. He's at 20% health. Somebody else showed up. Listen on safe mode first mode. They're also grinding. They're 122. But we're at 44%. So when we kill this, we got 9%. So pretty good. He kind of stole all the damage from me, but that's fine. As long as we killed it. And we get D-Reaper Zeta. This is all stuff for building the Digivices if you care. Oh, I forgot. The next boss. There is another boss after that spawns. So now we can fight this guy. Let's see. Yeah, he's dying pretty fast, so. Yeah, there's two other people here. So at 59%, let's see how much we get for killing the boss. 10%, pretty good. So we killed both bosses. That'll happen every good while, so while you're just grinding, you can just kill those when they spawn if there's other players there. If not, doing it solo takes too long. But yeah, and I'll be back again. Alright, I reached 105, and I'm gonna go try it the other map again and see if I can hit some Digimon and get XP from it. So I'll be back. Oh, alright, I am back here in East Shinjuku, and I DC'd, but I was explaining that their range is from 132, so you can come in around 103 actually, but they're still pretty Well, actually, I'm hitting these guys pretty consistently. But it's pretty good XP now. So, this is, by the way, where you'll grind all the way to 140 if you're trying to do that just through mobs. And they have the same spawning bosses here, so I'll cut back when I'm 110, but pretty much for that, that'll be the last part of the XP grind. Guys, I'm gonna cut back in here as I'm in the last bit of my goal. And I'm taking out this D-Reaper 05 to finish it off. And there we go. Level 110. Took us a bit of a while. It doesn't seem as long because I'm definitely gonna cut it down for you guys. But I hit 110 purely mob farming, so we can go Lotusmon. And how we can see, I got my 110 times 5, 550. So if I wanted to transcend for the extra attack, but right now I'm just getting most of my mons to 110, and I can get them to 150 later on for this, or 140, whatever. But I'm satisfied with this, and yeah, we're finally here. And like I said, you can keep leveling here, keep going. That's what most players will do, because the next XP big area isn't, oops, not that one. Oh, of course. But Kaisers Domain is the next one, and those are 150s, so you really can't even go there until mid 120s, and even then you have to skill all the way. So grinding here for now is probably the next best one for mob farming, at least. There's other parts that I think are better, but yeah, finally got to the end of this. Cool. So I wanted to cut back and show you guys some Kaisers Domain, the overworld grinding, and I'm in a group right now, but as you can see, I'm fighting around 4 levels higher than me. You want to fight above your level to get the most XP, but from just a normal Betamon, I'm at 17.9, so I got about 700 XP from just the normal one, which isn't bad, but fighting the elites gives you by far the most XP. And again, you should be fighting that you have type advantage against, and they have all the level ranges for the typings. So for around me right now, I'm fighting the Betamon Sidramon for 155 for Virus, because Fire Strength data. And so I'm chipping away at this Digimon. And I leveled up already from earlier, from testing out the XP grinding here. And as we get closer to killing it, you see I'm at almost exactly 19%. Almost dead. We went up like 3%, 3.2%, which is really good XP. You got a skill, obviously, because the level difference makes the hit rate a lot harder. But for me, being able to skillessly kill Betamon, that's pretty good. And then the rate I'm getting for killing Elite Digimon is pretty good. It shouldn't take too long to get up to there. But as my teammates are talking about, once you're at 150, the XP falls off a lot. But even then, it's the best way. I'd say, unless you have a lot of really strong Mon, this is probably better than the dungeon. Unless you're also trying to go for the drops from it. But I'd say this is the best way in a party too. Alright, we got the teammates here and we're gonna try showing some group elite Digimon XP. Yeah, pretty decent XP from these guys, so yeah. Alright, so this is the XP dungeon with a party to show how XP is gained when you're at the party and how beneficial it is to do it with teammates. So in order to enter the dungeon, actually, you need to have a level 100 Digimon, but after that, you're welcome to just switch over to the ones you need to level. And as you know, you need a level 82 minimum to get any experience from this. And it's not impossible to do with weaker Digimon, but I do recommend switching up to your highest form if possible. So it just makes it easier to do. And then let's go in and start fighting. dungeon. Ignore my death looks, and you can see we got some pretty good. We got what 6, 7 levels from here, which is really good. Running it with the team is really well, and like I've said before, considering the Digimon, you can get up to like 129, like you can get up to 29 levels ahead of this, so you could get further, but really I usually go to 130 or something, but it's pretty good for now. So thanks to Savage Shadow and Chaos for helping me, but yeah. Alright, now I'm in Rainbow Bridge solo to show you guys the XP from going from 82 to 110 by yourself, just so you can see the actual difference between it and how much better it is when you're in a group. You can see that it's actually a lot harder to get kills with an uncloned. So like I said before, I do recommend coming in here cloned. So I'm coming back in with about a minute left in the dungeon before I'm kicked. There's still a few enemies left, but as you can see, I got to 104 from 82. So 22 levels, you know, it's really good. And I'm gonna go back in and do another to get to 110. But as you can see, the solo XP is actually really good. So Mina City, as usual, is proving to be a really great dungeon to do. Alright guys, we're at the Kaisers Domain, and I want to show off, the next dungeon I want to show off for XP leveling is the Kaiser Domain XP Dungeon that replaced the DC Tour, if you know what that was. And for this dungeon, you need a level 140 Digimon to enter, and I'd recommend just using a 140 Digimon, as it can be kind of rough, as you'll see, and the bosses can hurt. This is unlike Rainbow Bridge, this is more like a real dungeon run, so I really do recommend doing with the party. You can do it solo, but it takes so long, and you really need a pretty strong Digimon. Like, leveling at this point, you really only should be doing your main Digimon, like SSS or higher. You can get away with SSS plus if you have teammates to carry you, but I'd go in with real strong one. Alright, so we're in the dungeon now, and we had some technical difficulties with DCing, and anyways, so now that we're starting, you start off at the same area, the actual map is, except you can't see it, but you'll spawn over here, and you just follow the path up to here, to the left first, and you'll find the first monochrome boss. And as we wait for Shadow, here he is. Using my Zed as I'm leveling him to 150. Gonna try and use him in the solo dungeon some other time. Alright, here we go. He's pretty beefy. With 4 people, it's really not that bad. But we've done it. Me and Rizun did it ourselves, and it kind of took a while. So that's why I try to recommend doing it with the party. Because it only has 4 of the bosses here, but there's like 8 bosses that you have to run through. So it does take a while. And you'll get booted out at the end of the time limit. We wasted some time because of DC, so we probably won't get super far. And this is a dungeon that you're going to need to use skills on. Because even I have 9k hit, and I still miss a lot of my attacks right now. So this is going to have to be a skill heavy dungeon. So make sure you have like a lot of healing stuff. And like Savage Dimension, like I said before, you can only have 29 level difference above or below Digimon in order to get XP. They changed that a little bit ago. You used to be able to have really, you could be level 1, and as long as somebody was able to get a kill for the mon for you, you would get a ton of levels. But not anymore. But thankfully you can still quest grind, as I will show you later in the video, but for now you just have to stay in the camp. See, we beat the boss, and now we got 3 enhancement boxes, which this is all stuff for like clothing enhancement, which you don't really do mid-game. It's really super end-game stuff, so I wouldn't worry about that. But now that the boss is done, you can see you got decent XP, you know, not too bad. But we head over to the next boss over here in Skull Greyman. We did like 65 million. We did a 66, 67, so they have a lot of HP, but it's just a bit of a grind. You can see we're more than halfway through the dungeon already, and it's almost the full level, which compared to lower levels, it obviously seems a lot slower, but you have so much more XP required that this is a good rate. This is a really good rate. here to say, well, one of our teammates died, which it's no problem. We got pretty far in. We didn't have much time left anyways, but I ended up at 60% XP, so I got like 160% XP. Maybe I'd have to double check, but this is pretty good for late game leveling. I mean, it's not gonna get too much better than this, but with the party, and if you have a lot of spare time, this is a good way to do it. So, yeah, this is the Kaiser Dungeon XP grind. Alright guys, I'm back in Western, as for the next part of the video, I'm going to be covering monster cards. But, unfortunately, the lowest level you can be is 11, so I came back to Western to get some quick levels, so there we go. 9, 11, there we go. Let me get one more level just in case. Togomon. It's a fellow Togomon over there. And we're 12, nice, so I'll meet you guys back in Dats for the monster cards. Alright, if you're not sure where the monster cards are, or where to use them, I just wanted to show you really quick. So you go through Dats, and you come over here to Kevin, in the middle here. You scroll down to the summon square, and you teleport there, and you'll be able to use the cards. And if you're wondering how you can get monster cards, they drop from specific Digimon and areas as drop rewards. And you also get them from login bonuses, as you'll see here. Monthly bonuses, you get them, the highest ones, which I'll be talking about in a little bit, but the normal ones you'll get from events and other stuff. So you can buy them from players, they're a bit expensive, but yeah, so let's look at our first level of monster card we'll be fighting. Not that one. We will be fighting monster card level 2. Not high rank, normal level 2. So let's spawn this in. Level 40, so I did need to be a little bit above. And you'll see we just jumped up a bunch. So let's get this next one. 29. Williamon now. Nice. Let's get Mushroom on. Now we're level 31, so we really don't need to fight that one anymore. Let's see. Monster card level 6. Let's see if we can take these on. 80. Yikes. A bit too high. Let's get, I don't think I have normal level 5, so let's pull out a level 4 really quick. They disappear out of time, so I would take them out quickly. Yeah, we could take level 4s on. There we go. And you'll get a bunch of drop rewards from these guys. There's actually a lot of useful rewards from monster cards if you want to farm them. So I do recommend doing this if you don't feel like doing quests or dungeons or any of that stuff. So let's get this guy. We're still gonna need, we're not close yet, we'll need to do a couple more level 4s. I ran out of level 2 cards, and I don't have anything I'm in range for, so I'll be back while I get this one here. Alright, so we're back here at level 51, and from killing stuff, I actually got some more monster cards, but I sorted my inventory. I got a spirit from a and I got some mysterious Digi 8 boxes. But next up, we're on to level 6 monster cards. So we'll just let Rosemon kill Digimon. We got half a level of XP, so it's quite a good way to grind. And the higher you get to, the better the XP will be. So yeah. Cut back in when we're on the next level of monster cards. back in here. It's been an hour of card grinding, but I've reached 71 now. And I should. Now, we can loop back down to high rank monster cards. Let's see how much XP we'll get from one of these guys. My inventory is filling up fast. We're at 20% right now. $47% XP is pretty good. Sorry. Let's finish up these guys. Let's see. Something I need to check because I do not recall. Yeah, that little bit of period where you're in that lower levels, it's always a bit slower. That middle rank, but once you get to 71, it should pick back up again. Level 100, so you saw the XP from the normal high rank monster cards, but when we fight the highest rank monster cards, these guys are definitely a bit harder. So I'll cut back once he's dead and we'll see how much XP he gives us. Alright, cut him back in. I had to use some buffs to make sure I killed it in time, so this might not be something everyone's able to do, but we're at 72 right now. We kill it, and we are now 88. So you can see these highest monster cards are kind of crazy. I mean, the normal high rank ones are good, but if you're able to kill these ones, you really should. And you get them from login bonus for free, because they're kind of expensive, but I should be able to do this now. And yeah, these high rank cards are insane. These are by far the best, like, cards for leveling. And there's 2 higher levels. I don't have the 3rd one with me right now, but these are very good for leveling. I'll be back in a sec once I kill this one. Alright, and we're about to kill the second one. And yeah, now we're 94. So this is a very good way to level. And we should be able to fight this level 2 highest one now. Yeah, we can. We might struggle to hit it. Yeah, but I'll cut back once I've killed this one too. Cutting back in here, we're about to kill the Digimon summon. 2%, 1%, and we got him. There we go, up to 99. Quite good. So these are definitely it takes far less time compared to mob grinding, and you get resources. But it's preference. And monster cards are kind of expensive too, so this is kind of the more expensive way. But I'm gonna do another one of Lucimon. But I will cut back when this one's about to die. Yeah. Alright, coming back in, we're about to kill Lucimon. We're at 99. 101. And actually, I'm gonna go get one of the highest level 3 Renamon cards really quick, just to show it to you guys. Alright, we're back with the Renamon card, which is, it's just 120 and up, but that's fine. But these ones, they're going for about 2T, so they're pretty pricey right now. As you can see, it's a level 130, so I'm actually barely the right level for it. But I'll fight it and cut back to when I'm killing it so we can see the XP. In as we're about to kill Sakuyamon. A few more skills to go, and we'll be there. 101 right now. Jumped up 3 levels. Pretty great leveling. Maybe not for weaker Digimon, definitely not for weaker Digimon. This is definitely for SSS plus higher main Digimon that you'll be using. But yeah, and I'm going to get up to 110 using cards and I'll be right back. 2 hours. But about to finish off Gallantmon. And there we go. Level 110 from mostly only monster cards. So they're a really good leveling way. They're kind of pricey though, so it's not the primary way if you're newer to the game, but it's a good way if you do have access to it. And yeah, that was monster cards. Alright guys, we're here at File Island now, so I can showcase you some of the more early game side of quest leveling. So obviously if you've done your main quests, you'll have the daily quests that are repeatable once per day. And so here, you need to be level 46 to be able to grab these. So I'm going to grab them with Hackmon since he's my strongest Digimon, or stronger than the Digimon. I'm going to claim him with Agumon. I need to kill some Koromon, so Koromon's over here. These quests are so easy, you can do it with anyone. Let's see. Kill Koromon. There we go, we got it. So, by doing quest leveling, so you do it as someone else, and then you can switch over to the one that you're trying to level. Let's get my XP things up. And claim it as Agumon. And there we go, 32 levels already. Fire Island has a lot of really good early game levels. So, we'll let my levels finish, and then, well, while that's happening, I'll move over to the next set of missions. Alright, should be able to switch almost. Switch back to Hackmon. Next set of missions are over here. Get this one. And this one. So we need a drop from Elecmon. Some other players here, so move over here. Just gotta keep going for the drops. It's almost done. Let's kill him quick while we're right here. He's really easy too, so don't worry about it. We got Koagumon. Let's go back and finish the other part. Oh, we got it. So now we switch back over to Agumon. There we go. 36. 39. We are almost at 41. And I'll get to 46 before I consider moving on. But so grayed out means you're almost at the level required to be able to do it. Now we're at blue, so we can get it. Gotta defeat some Birdramon. Also, for early game players, you get some good stuff like Digi-Aura for a day. So if you're running out of Digi-Aura, you can come here and run through some daily quests. There's not really a bunch of Birdramon, so we have to wait for them to respawn. This might take a minute. Alright, we got it done. So once again, we can switch back to Agumon. There we go, Shine Greymon, level 41. We're still not at the level to be able to claim them as him, so we'll switch back to Hackmon again. And there's one more mission. There used to be a couple more daily missions, but they changed it around. That's fine. Koagumon raid. When's he spawn? 4 minutes? That's alright. We'll just move on. Alright, we'll do the Koagumon fight really quick. And again, it's super easy, so you should be able to do it as anyone. I'm doing it as a rookie Dracomon, so recommended 4 players was from when it first came out. over a decade ago, so it is quite easy. Now we can once again switch back to Agumon and go back claim the mission. Level 43. Nice. We also get a random reinforced alpha. Oh, let's scan it, see what it is. Common Dramon. I don't really need one. Level 3, so it's alright that way. But you can see that you can get some good levels from here. And there's dailies on each of the maps. You can't see them until you go there, but if you need to level someone and Fire Island's the only place you have access to, that's fine, because you can just go through each of the maps up to Fire Island Waterfront and do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for Fire Island. But I'm going to show you some examples of some late game level maps too, so I'll cut back. Alright, so we're here at Forced Beginning, and this map is accessed after you beat Fire Island Server and Tokyo Odaiba, and it's a higher levels-ish 120-ish, you see it in the other part of the video. But what I like to do here, instead of switching back and forth between Agumon and this one, is on this map, I just run through with one Digimon and go through all the quests that I feel like. Sometimes I'll skip the item drop ones, but I'll go through, finish the quest, and then once I finish the last daily, this one's a dungeon one, so you don't have to worry about it. But once I end up down here at the beach one and finish all of them, I'll switch back to a different Digimon that I'm leveling, and I'll run back through the opposite way and claim the missions. And I'll typically do that for, depending on how far I'm leveling someone, I'll do that on all the maps, as they all have kind of a straightforward quest path. Like, you'll start at the beginning here and you'll go through, and there's sometimes straggling quests, but I'll show you that here. I'll cut back after I've finished the quest. Alright, so I just finished up the last quest, and I'm cutting back in to show the XP from it. So instead of putting it on Agumon, who's 43, we're going to use him as a measurement point, and I'm going to put it on Sleep, who, oops, as you know, becomes Centaurumon. Right, so he's level 1, and we have a good few spots to go back and get the XP for, so first I'll grab this. And he's already level 46 from one mission. So that means we're gonna be evolving quite a few times. But let's keep going. So 52, 56, 59. Almost about to evolve again. Or not. Huh. It's weird. Usually just skips you like that, but it's fine. So Sleep on. 261 now. Let it catch up in case the game feels like breaking. Keep going back. And for Digimon that have burst mode forms, the next level would be the one that you would unlock it. And for joggers Digimon, you typically have level 70, so 6 more levels to go would be joggers unlocked. So it's pretty insane. Like Fire Island, you know, as the levels go up, the scaling gets harder, but the fact that we're already here is pretty crazy. I mean, Fire Island, you could do this for sure, it'll take longer, but this is just one sitting of quest runs. And I was using a pretty weak Digimon, so it went a little longer, but now I click like this, and 65 whole levels from almost every quest here. I skipped 2. This one is killing Woodmon for 30 drops, and this is killing Sukumon. Right. Siakumon, my bad. For 2 sets of 10 drops, I think, or 11, 15, something like that. But yeah, that's what I tend to do for these, and I'll run through all the different maps and do this. Force a Marionette. Almost all of them are kill missions, except there's one by Pokemon's Mansion that is drop ones. There's two drop ones that I usually skip just because they take time, and not that I'm speed running, but I just don't like doing them. And then Metal Empire, I actually do all of the ones here because the drop quests are only not that many, and it goes by pretty fast. And there's only like 7 quests here anyways. Like you start off down here through the forest, you'll cut across till you go up to you'll do missions here, you'll cut through here, do one, get to the hospital, do some in the park, go up to the buildings, cut across here. And these will be like the last missions where you fight 2 bosses, and then you get to go to the underground city, which there's like 4 or 5 missions in here. They're all pretty easy. None of them actually, I don't think any of them are material ones. And then after that you go to Top of a Nightmare, and I think all except one mission here are just mob grinding ones, so they go by pretty quickly. So really, if you felt like it, you could get a Digimon up to 100 plus just grinding these out once a day. So that's pretty good. And you're getting cleansed data from the missions and drops, and I got like maybe a T's worth more of currency. So yeah, you're getting good rewards for it. So I'd say if you're looking to grind rewards, this is a good way. You could do the drop ones too if you want even more, just for the Digimon drops. But yeah, this is like later game quest grinding, and of course, maps like, can't look at it. Kaisers Domain has quests, but I do not recommend those ones because you have to grind the secret bosses that take a long time to drop. So you could do those if you're grinding mob farming, but besides that, I don't really recommend it. And I like Spiral Mountain ones because it's the most straightforward. Digital Area has some dailies, but a lot of them are like dungeons and stuff, and they're so spread out. And then Verdandi, what they call it, the new digital world, right? Verdandi dailies aren't really the best for XP, as it's all 99 level cap, but it's good for if you're grinding Omega 1X and stuff, but not for XP. But then real world, Tokyo Odaiba is pretty decent for XP, but their Digimon are harder here, so I tend to not like doing those, and they usually fill people. But Shinjuku is pretty good too, as you'll see in the mob grinding part. There's missions to go with it here, so doing it in combination with that is pretty good, and you'll get other rewards building like the DR. Do I have mine? Yeah, so you'll be able to build up to a DR doing these missions, so those are also good to do. But in terms of quests, that's it for me for this part of the video, so yeah, I'll see you in the next part. Oh, also, real quick, as you've seen in the video, I wanted to mention before I get to the next part of the video that quest grinding has no level cap unlike mob grinding. So like, you saw Fire Island that the missions, I had to be level 46 to complete them, but claiming them there's no level cap. And Agumon went from 1 to 40-ish, just like that. And same for Kudamon here, he went from 1 to 46 in one quest, so there's no cap on that, which is very nice, which is usually why I prefer doing quest grinding over mob grinding, because as you saw my mob grinding, I had to start at Western and then work my way through File Island and through all the different maps in order to just get any XP because of the level cap. But with quest grinding, there's no limit, and you can, like, if you're doing the harder maps, you can do it with one of your higher level ones that you're leveling at. Like, I could do it with my Dracomon like I did, and you can switch over to a weaker one to claim it, or you can claim it with them. It's whatever, really, but I find it to be one of my most favorite ways, and unlike cards, it's free to do every day, so you don't have to pay for anything besides XP boosters, but you get so many of those anyways. But yeah, I forgot to mention that. Alright, so for the final XP method I'm going to be covering, it'll be the new weekly XP dungeon at Yokohama Village. If you don't know where this is, so from DATS, if you go out to Yokohama Village where you do the tutorial, you'll end up in the village over here, and if you keep going up to the top left of the map, you'll get to the East Village. This used to be part of the game back in the day, but they're putting the dungeon here, and to be able to do this dungeon, I believe quest saying goodbye is the final Spiral Mountain quest. So you have to finish all the Fall Island server, Tokyo Odaiba, and Spiral Mountain quests, and then I think this will be unlocked. So you don't have it for a while, but if you grind it out, it's worth doing because this is a very good one. But I'm going to be showcasing different XP, like level points I have for Digimon. But I do want to say that starting, I don't recommend going in there with anyone below 80. I'm just going to do it to show you guys, but there's 4 different mobs you fight for different level ranges, and the lower level ones are really a lot worse compared to the final one you'll grind up. So below that range I don't recommend it, but I am going to show it to you guys anyways just so you can see. And yeah, I'll go in there now. Alright, we're here in the dungeon, and Starmons are the first enemies you'll fight. These enemies are very easy to take out. Alright, we evolved. You only have 20 minutes, and it seems like a lot, but it goes by quickly. So I do recommend not to dilly-dally and take your time in here. But you can see we're killing them quite fast. The next Roachmon, you need to be at 21. So to know when you're ready for the next mob, just count 1 above the current one you're fighting. So 17, more. You can see the leveling starting to scale down. Almost there. Not almost there. Need a few more kills. And after you kill a certain amount, the leader will spawn. Killing the leader gives you a bit more XP than the normal ones, and you'll get some item drops. Yeah, mid-class, you get some pretty decent rewards. Mid-class ships are useful. Transcendence ships, I mean. This should be the last one. Alright, we're 21, so now we can go over to Roachmon. They're all easy to kill, so didn't kill him. Now we're Mistymon, actually. See, you level up quite a bit for the first few ones, and you'll see it start to teeter off and start slowing down as you get closer to their level. By the way, I'm sure you've been looking, but I have my XP amount at the bottom left if you want to look at it. I'm just going to get to 41 with this just to show you. Get to the Mega Unlock. But you can see it's definitely starting to drop off. There we go. Got Dynasmon. But you can see it definitely starts to fall off there. But we have our 65 Kudamon. So instead of fighting these guys, I'm going to show the next part of the map. So after the Roachmon, you go up to a different part of the map at Tough 42. It's the same dungeon, same timer, so yeah. So we're here. I'm going to evolve the Slightmon while they load in. And the next enemy is Digimon. They're 80, so you'll have to be 51. And look, I'm not getting much XP. Yeah, like not even 20%. It's really not that much. And you have to go until 81, which would take a while. So this is a bit why I don't like coming in here with the lower level mons. It's so much easier just to do it with quest or any of the other ways. But the final enemy is Machinedramon. He's 110, so you'd have to be 91 to start fighting him, right? Or 81. Yeah, 81, oops. So I have here my Drakmon Blue. So I'm gonna go ahead and evolve him. And I'm gonna show you the XP from these guys. And yeah, you can see just how much better this XP is on these guys. They give you so much more XP. Why? Coming in here at 81 is so much better. Leveling up other places and then bringing your 81 mons in here just to get this higher end XP is the much better strat. And for some people they might want to just spend it on their other ones, but if you're trying to be a time efficient, level them up in advance. You have a whole week, weekly, at least Pacific time for me in California. It's Monday nights. So here you can just see how fast it is. Like we're one above them, and you can see with the Digimon and the other ones that as soon as you got to like a bit below their level, it was already dropping off. But with the Machinedramon, you can easily get Digimon to 140. Maybe not a bunch, but you definitely can get a lot of good leveling for high level Digimon here. And this is honestly the best way to get to 140, I'd say, or at least close to it, if you have the Kaiser map unlocked. And it's only once a week, so you can't consistently do it, but just leveling Mon in preparation for it, and then getting it done to start leveling them on the other map is good. And make sure you don't kill the leader, because it'll end the dungeon. you can kill them right when you're about to leave or be done, or not everyone has portable archives. Like I don't have one at the moment, so be able to switch Digimon whenever you want. So if you hit 140 and you're not getting XP anymore, or if you're just about to run out of time, you could find and kill the leader. But besides that, just kill the mobs and you'll get some good leveling done. And for me, typically, I like to hit 110 on Digimon just for the D unit, you know, mix them on. Right? 110 for their bonuses. But you can see there's ones for going beyond that, and in the future, once I've had all my Mon leveled to 110 already, I'll probably just each week have a lineup to bring into here to get them closer to the requirement's different for different Mons. For Mons with their full evolution line, it might be just 140 on them all or 150. And then for some Mons that have Evos that are hard to get or not possible to get, like Alter B. So Alter B, like Blitzgreymon, I can get his total level because I have them leveled above what I need him, but I'm not really able to easily get the other ones because you need to have all of the Mons unlocked and stuff, so it's a little annoying that they do that, but you can always get some of them by over leveling them for the requirements. But for some of those ones, like I was showing you Alter B, it's really level 750, so they typically do want you having 5 at 150, but besides that, it's not really possible. There are other Mons who have so many more forms, like a normal Agumon. 1200, yes, not a good example, but there are definitely some that you can pass the requirement with, but yeah, so I would prioritize Digimon that you can either actually fill out the whole evolution line for, or you're gonna use, obviously Digimon you're gonna use, but yeah, I think this is by far the best above 81 leveling, especially since it's just the free maintenance reward, and you do have to grind a bit to be able to unlock it, but if you're playing the game progression, if you're doing the progression of the game right, you should end up here anyways, so this is just a nice free thing to be able to do, and it's easy. I mean, it's not like the weekly royal base runs people do. It's just a easy little grind, so you could just listen to some music or watch something while you do it, and you only have to be in here for 20 minutes, so yeah, and I think that's all I've got to say right now, so I'll cut back when I'm about to be out of time and show you the progression I've made. Alright, cutting back in, I reached 140 from 82, and I didn't spend the whole time, so I think you could definitely get to 140 with one. It may be most of the way, or maybe, I don't know, depending on how fast you can kill him. I mean, my attack speed isn't super fast, so if you have a super fast attack speed Digimon, like, if I switch to just normal Dracmon, he can't one-shot them, so not quite that, but you can find a way to get super fast attack speed Digimon to kill them even faster and optimize your leveling. But yeah, so I'm just gonna, I have a minute left, so I would spend it, but for the sake of the video, I'm just gonna go ahead and kill the leader now and finish the dungeon. And D-rank, because I took my sweet time, but 19 billion XP is pretty good, and you unfortunately can't re-enter it, so now it kicks you. And yeah, that's the XP dungeon. So you can see, not the greatest for lower level leveling, but from 81 to 140, which is a huge hurdle most of the game has to leveling, as there there hadn't been a really good range from the 110 onwards for a while. But now with this, I'd say this is probably the easiest and best way. And you can only go in with one person, unfortunately, so you can't do it with multiple people. Maybe in the future. But Raremon, like all the stuff you're getting from this is for transcending Digimon. So this dungeon is built for the D unit. They want you going in there with level 80 Digimon, or they give you the option to go in there with any really, but going in there with level 81, getting to 140, and then going to transcend them like Examon. Oops. Examon, like, I just finished, this is Examon Blue, so I just got him to 140, so I had all 5 forms, I had level 110 on all of them for 200 HP, and I have level 140 on all of them for the light damage, which is, this is percentage damage for light attribute Digimon, which Examon is, I believe, right? Yeah, he's data light, so. And then on top of that, he's a 5 out of 5, and you're not going to get the stuff, obviously, it's random drops and stuff. But you'll start working your way, maybe it is 1-to-1, I'll check, but you'll start getting the stuff to transcend Digimon. You can't do it all at once, but you could build up and do a few at a time and prioritize the ones that have the effects you care about. Like, he's 50 attack, so I did transcend him first. But when I get him to 140 for the data damage, and then obviously they're a part of bigger deck buffs too, like, the Royal Knights one isn't the easiest one to get, but a really good one that is pretty decently easy to get is the Adventure deck buff, which is, just for having them all, 500 HP, that's really good. And then, for having them all at level 110, 200 HP, it, honestly, just getting to that is good. And then, if you transcend them all, which is a lot of work, and maybe as a beginner or earlier game player, I don't recommend doing that. But then you could just do the 140 if you feel like it, if you don't have any other ones to grind, and get that light damage. And another one that isn't the easiest, what's Faye, or not Faye, sorry, Huanglangmon. So, this is my highest level of them. And having all 4 is Digisoul. They're not all one. See, this is what I mean. Not all of the level requirements are the same. 480, they want you to be 120 on each of them instead of 110, having transcended. And then 600, they want 150 instead of 140. So some Digimon have higher requirements for it. So like him, unless you're maining him, I don't recommend it. But then you could see having all of them and Awaken. This is probably a harder one to get, and it's definitely more expensive to get. But another 500 HP, having them all at 120, right? Something like that. Wait, 5. It's doesn't add up exactly right, actually. If they're all at 1, oh no, this is right. It's all 110 because the 4 plus this one, so something like that. I don't feel like doing the math right now. But then you can see 2% bonus from that. So there are some much better deck buffs. Scale damage, just in general, 2% for having all of these. 100 for having them all. Barbara Army. So there are some really good ones, and if you're trying to figure out which ones to do, obviously you could sort it. So like ones I was working on a lot, I have abysmal XP rate, which by the way, this is probably one of the ones you should prioritize. But I was doing HP a lot, so like HP, Blitzgreymon, I have all of them for 150, so I'm getting 150 HP from him. There's more XP, I don't have him transcended. Let's see, click through here. Like Pico Devimon, you get 350 HP from him. It's pretty easy to get, and the forms are not that expensive to buy or grind, so you can do that. Or Armadillamon, I like to say. This is his older one, not the new Joggers one. But this another 350 HP. Gatsumon, 350. So there's a bunch of HP ones still that I need to go for, like Doggymon. It's 350 for only 3 forms, and transcending him, obviously. I mean, but he's a mob drop one, so I can farm him. And yeah, there's a bunch of these ones. So like if I go now to XP, Blitzgreymon, the Zort one, so I can't really get the HP. Not for that, that's a bad example. Let's go look for Gomon. Yeah, Gomon's at 20 HP there. Tentomon, he's an easy one to grind up, and I believe he's one of the tutorial ones you get to pick. So if at the start, you could pick him from that, and that's 50-70 XP just right there. Chaos Galmon, these are all pretty easy to unlock. Another 70 right there. Dorumon, this one is 100 XP. So that's why I would go out and find the ones. So look at the prices for the evil items beforehand. Like this Goblimon one. King Edamon's item is not too expensive. This is 100. So you can just go through, make Kumana, it's not too. You can get him from jumping events. So that's 100 XP there. Kunemon, he used to be tutorial one. I don't know if he still is, but see, that's total level 1, so that's not the best one if you're going for XP. This is for having all the highest shown in adventure forms of the adventure Digimon. So like, obviously Wargreymon, Agurumon, all the ultimates too, and 50 XP for free, and then skill damage. So you just need to have them all. I'm missing a specific Biomon one. Ghost Game, these Digimon are all free to get, and this is all XP, so that's good. Adventure 02, I have them all, because one of them is Ultra Force Digimon, the other one's the original Imperial Dramon that was in the Joggers, because they didn't exist back then, or he's dead now at least. All XP, these are all the a lot of the dark form Digimon. Yeah, there's a lot of deck buffs like this, and Resistance Army Digimon. So there's just a bunch of these you can go through and look at, and just in general too, if you're looking for some you might want to work towards. Like this one's not an easy one to do, but like let's see, Knights of Vaccine, Susanumon's jumping event, he can get him from drop Digimon or egg selection, he's easy. Magnamon, he's not the easiest to get sometimes, but he's not too bad. Evasion, so these are all the Dark Masters, it's all XP. This is the Savior, or Digimon Frontiers villains. Just some random buffs. This is the O2 villains. So yeah, there's just a bunch of stuff like that, but alright guys, I wanted to cut back in really quick and mention a few quick things about some key leveling things that I forgot to mention earlier. The first being is, I know a lot of players struggle to get to 140 Tamer level, as it's one of the biggest milestones in the game, because it unlocks like Kaiser map and stuff like that. But I wanted to mention, in other parts of the guide, like the leveling you do with Digimon is always naturally increasing your Tamer's level, but depending on how much XP you're getting, it'll scale your Tamer XP off that, for example. So leveling a level 150 Digimon, for example, where the XP is super slow, will level your Tamer super slow. So like on the XP map that I showed you, when you're grinding level 80 Digimon versus level 1 Digimon, you're getting a lot more XP. And a friend of mine tested that grinding the higher level Digimon will actually get your Tamer level up a lot faster. So going in with a few level 82, 81 Digimon, and let's say you're at team level 120 or 130, you'll grind up to 140 very fast. So the weekly dungeon's probably the best way to do it. And I'm gonna mention again, the way to unlock it is finishing all of Fire Island, all of all of Server, then you go to the real world, finishing all of Tokyo, and finishing all of Spiral Mountain. And I recently found out, as it was different when I did it, from when I did it, there no longer is a lot of the big dungeons you had to do to get through it. As people would beat Fire Island and Server, and it was pretty easy from there. Then they got to the real world. Tokyo takes a bit to get through, but once you get to Big Sight and Odaiba, there used to be 2 Myotismon dungeons you'd have to do. They're still there, but I found out recently that it's not a requirement. There's a separate little side quest you get where you fight a mini boss version of them that are super easy. So you really don't have to worry about that chokehold anymore. So you can progress through there and go back to Spiral Mountain, and you won't have a dungeon fight until the final map where you'll fight here in Void Space. You'll fight Apocalypse, and it can be a bit rough, but by then you should be leveled up enough and you should be able to find a party to be able to complete it. And at that point, using the weekly XP dungeon and maybe some other methods, you'll get to 140 pretty quickly. Yeah, and I also wanted to mention, for if you want to use Rainbow Bridge for leveling in the real world, do your quest lines through Fire Island Server and in Tokyo, and as you're doing your main quests, once you get to Minato City, there's going to be some side quests here you have to do. The side quests are yellow exclamation marks, as you see up here. The dailies are blue and main quests are purple. So you can do your main quest first or whatever, but make sure you do the yellow quest here, because over here where I'm highlighting, there is an NPC Ukakumon right there, and he unlocks the Rainbow Bridge dungeon, but you have to finish the side quests here first to unlock it. But yeah, I think that's all the extra things I wanted to mention. So yeah, I mean, leveling is an important part of the game, and now that that's in the game, it's even more important to level your other Digimon. Like before, I used to just buy them, and then if I need them for a deck buff, I would put them in storage, or I just wouldn't hatch them at all. But now I have an incentive to hatch Digimon, get them to 5 out of 5, and level them up. And it just makes me stronger overall. And yeah, and I think it's a good idea. A good system, honestly. Better than the old deck system, which this was collecting in Digimon and having them, but you just needed to have the forms and you would get buffs for them. And obviously these are extremely important too, but it was just unlocking, like checking stuff off, like the Royal Knights one, like there, besides their X forms, there was no real use to using some of these. Omnimon and Alphamon, obviously you would use their X forms. Magnamon, you would use them back in the day, but not anymore. Gonkumon's such a long, like, there was really no, you would grind these out just to leave them in the box. So with Burst Ultimate, like, you weren't even using all the Burst Ultimate forms. But this new system, it's giving you importance to having a Digimon besides just checking them off. So I'm personally a big fan of that. But yeah, I mean, it's obviously not all the ways to level in the game, but it's just the ones I've had from guildmate suggestions, and then some I do myself. But yeah, I guess shout out to some of my guildmates: Savage Gamer, the Master, Razun, another guildmate who gave me some of the ideas, Chaos Order, and yeah, I mean, let me know if you like this, and if there's any other guides you want me to make, and also if there's any other XP spots that I missed. But yeah, thank you for watching.